Every dream ever born into this world has always begun with one simple, bold, defining moment, a decision. A decision to rise, a decision to try, a decision to no longer sit on the sidelines of possibility, but to step into the arena where destiny is shaped. The difference between those who merely imagine greatness and those who experience it is not talent, not resources, not opportunity. It is the courage to decide and the willingness to try. And as you keep moving, something remarkable begins to happen inside you. You start to see that the dream you once thought was distant is not as far as you believed. It begins to feel possible, reachable, achievable. Not because the dream changed, but because you changed. Trying enlarges your capacity. It expands your vision and stretches your potential. Every time you try, you elevate your expectation of yourself. What once intimidated you becomes manageable. What once overwhelmed you becomes familiar. What once felt impossible begins to feel natural simply because you kept moving when it was easier to quit. People often admire the results they see in others, but they rarely notice the years of decisions and countless attempts that produced those results. Success is never the product of one dramatic moment. It is the accumulation of simple decisions followed by consistent tries. You may look at someone who has built a great life, a thriving business, a powerful influence, or a strong character, and you may think they were lucky. But luck is often disguised discipline. Luck is persistence in motion. Luck is trying when others gave up. Behind every victory is a trail of decisions and a history of attempts that no one applauded, no one recorded, and no one celebrated, but those attempts shape the foundation of greatness. Do not be discouraged if others do not see your progress. They are not supposed to. Many of the most important battles you will ever fight are internal. No one sees the effort it takes to wake up early, to stay late, to push through fatigue, to believe again after disappointment, to try again after a loss. No one sees the courage it takes to challenge your own limitations and confront your own fears. But just because others cannot see your progress does not mean progress is not happening. Growth often begins hidden beneath the surface. Seeds grow roots long before they grow branches. You too are developing quietly before you are revealed publicly. Trying requires humility because it forces you to begin at the bottom. It requires patience because success rarely comes instantly. It requires resilience because obstacles appear without warning. But every struggle is shaping you. Every setback is strengthening. Every delay is preparing you. Trying is not simply about reaching the dream. It is about becoming the person who can handle the dream once you arrive. There will be days when trying feels heavy. Days when your efforts seem invisible. Days when nothing goes according to plan. Days when you question whether the decision you made was worth it. On those days, remember this progress is not always loud. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it hides behind repetition. Sometimes it disguises itself as routine. But progress is happening as long as you keep trying. You must also understand that comparison is the enemy of trying. If you measure your attempts against someone else's achievements, you will always feel behind. You will always feel inadequate. You will always judge your beginnings by their endings. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Their journey is not yours. Their timeline is not yours. Their challenges, their resources, their opportunities, they are all different. You honor your dream not by competing with someone else's path, but by committing to your own. Even when you feel small, even when your progress feels slow, even when your steps feel uncertain, continue to try. Trying builds momentum. And once momentum begins, it becomes harder to stop than to continue. Momentum is the reward of consistency. It is the power you earn when you refuse to quit. At first, trying may feel like pushing a heavy stone uphill, but eventually the same stone begins to roll with its own force simply because you never stop pushing. There will come a moment in your journey when you look back and realize how far you have come, not because of one dramatic breakthrough, but because of thousands of small decisions to keep going. That moment will not be accidental. It will be earned. You will stand stronger, wiser, more confident, more disciplined, more capable simply because you chose to try when it was difficult and decide when it was easier to delay. Do not underestimate the influence of trying on others. People are watching you, your family, your friends, your community, even those who never speak a word. When you try, you subconsciously give others permission to try. When you rise, you inspire others to rise. When you decide to change your life, you indirectly encourage others to consider changing theirs. Your courage multiplies more courage. Your persistence wakes up dormant dreams in others. Your actions create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your personal goals. You may never fully know how many people your decision will affect. Sometimes your boldness becomes a blueprint for someone else's breakthrough. Sometimes your willingness to begin gives someone else the bravery to begin. Trying is not only about your dream, it is about the generations that will benefit from your courage. And even if the journey takes longer than you expected, even if you face delays you didn't anticipate, even if life disrupts your timeline, remember this. Delay is not denial. Every dream has a season. Every destiny has a process. Every purpose has a path. Sometimes the journey shapes you before the dream rewards you. Sometimes the process protects you from arriving unprepared. Sometimes the delay is developing qualities inside you that you will need when the dream manifests. Do not let time discourage you. Let time mature you. Keep trying because time rewards the persistent. The dream you want is not as valuable as the person you become while pursuing it. Trying builds a foundation inside you that cannot be shaken, a confidence that cannot be stolen, and a strength that cannot be intimidated. You must also be intentional about the environment you choose while trying. Surround yourself with people who encourage your decisions, not those who mock them. Keep company with those who understand the value of trying, not those who quit easily. Be around people who inspire you to stretch, not those who hold you back. Your environment can either fuel your attempts or drain them. Choose wisely. You cannot grow in soil that suffocates you. You cannot thrive in relationships that diminish you. Protect your dream by protecting your environment. As you continue to decide and continue to try, you will eventually discover that the real battle was never with your circumstances, your past, or your limitations. It was with your mindset. Once your mind decides, the rest of your life follows. Once your mind commits, your actions align. Once your mind accepts that trying is non-negotiable, nothing can stop you. This is why decisions are so powerful. A genuine decision changes everything. A real decision makes excuses irrelevant. A real decision turns obstacles into strategies. A real decision eliminates retreat as an option. A real decision transforms your dream from someday into starting now. Once your mind decides, your life recalibrates. And when your life recalibrates, trying becomes natural. Trying becomes part of your identity. Trying becomes a daily rhythm. You no longer wait for motivation because discipline takes its place. You no longer wait for inspiration because commitment leads you. You no longer wait for perfect conditions because you have learned that progress grows best in imperfect environments. So let decision be your anchor and trying be your movement. Let decision ignite your purpose and trying build your destiny. Let decision open the door and trying walk you through it. You are not defined by what you have failed to do in the past. You are defined by what you choose to do now. You stand today at the threshold of a new possibility. A decision can open it. Trying can take you through it. Keep stepping, keep fighting, keep learning, keep growing. Keep trying, because the dream you desire is shaped by the decisions you make and the attempts you are willing to invest. And as you keep moving forward, each step begins to carve a clear path beneath your feet. What once appeared uncertain slowly becomes familiar terrain. The dream that once looked distant begins to feel like something that belongs to you, not by accident, but by persistence. Trying transforms the impossible into the inevitable. It turns the unknown into the unforgettable. And it teaches you over time that everything you need for the next step has already been placed inside you. Many people spend years waiting for a sign, a guarantee, or a perfect moment. But life was never designed to hand you certainty before you begin. Certainty is earned by movement. Clarity comes from engagement, not hesitation. The moment you try, even in the smallest way, you activate a direction. And direction reveals details that standing still will never show you. Trying is a teacher, a guide, a mentor that shapes your understanding as you go. You learn more from what you attempt than from what you imagine. Do not let fear convince you that you need full understanding before you begin. The greatest journeys ever taken started with more questions than answers. Trying is the language of courage. It tells fear, you can speak, but you cannot decide for me. It tells doubt, you can visit, but you cannot live here. It tells excuses, you may sound reasonable, but I choose responsibility. When you decide and then try, you take authority over your own life. You stop waiting for circumstances to choose for you, and you begin choosing for yourself. There will always be reasons to delay. There will always be challenges, distractions, responsibilities, or uncertainties that try to convince you it is not the right time. But the right time rarely announces itself. If you look at those who achieve great things, you will notice that they began when conditions were not perfect. They began when they were still learning, still struggling, still unsure. Trying in imperfect conditions builds resilience because it teaches you to move despite inconvenience. Destiny is constructed in the moments when quitting looks easier, but effort is chosen anyway. Sometimes the hardest part of trying is not the action itself, but the belief that you are worthy of the dream. Too many people allow their past failures, their mistakes, or their upbringing to convince them they don't qualify for greatness. But hear this, your past is not a prophecy. It is a reference. What you were is not a limit on what you can become. Every person who accomplished something admirable had a past, had failures, had insecurities, had weaknesses. The difference is that they refused to let their past define their future. They decided, and then they tried. If you wait until you feel completely worthy before you try, you will wait forever. Worthiness grows with action. Confidence grows with repetition. Strength grows with resistance. Every attempt you make tells your mind, I am capable. Every effort you invest builds a sense of value and identity. Trying is not only the path to your dream, it is the path to recognizing who you are. Trying also introduces you to abilities you never knew you had. Hidden gifts, dormant skills, unexplored talents. These things remain invisible until effort summons them. Some people live their entire lives unaware of how powerful, creative, intelligent, or resourceful they truly are simply because they never tried something that required those abilities to emerge. Your attempts awaken your potential. They shake the dust off the strengths buried deep inside you. They reveal what has been waiting to come alive. You will meet new versions of yourself along the journey, versions that are stronger, wiser, braver, more disciplined, more focused. Trying transforms you gradually, and sometimes you do not realize how much growth has happened until someone else points it out. You start to speak differently, think differently, carry yourself differently. You begin to notice that challenges which once discouraged you now feel manageable, and opportunities that once intimidated you now feel accessible. That is the silent miracle of trying. Of course, the road will not be smooth. Every dream worth pursuing requires sacrifice. You may have to let go of old habits, old environments, old thinking patterns. You may have to distance yourself from people who drain your energy or discourage your efforts. Growth sometimes requires separation. Trying sometimes requires you to walk alone for a season. But solitude is not loneliness, it is preparation. It is in the quiet seasons that your focus sharpens, your discipline strengthens, and your purpose becomes clearer. You must also guard your mind during the journey. Doubt will revisit you. Discouragement will attempt to sit beside you. Failure will try to label you, but you must refuse to embrace any voice that contradicts the decision you made. When you try and fail, it does not mean you are a failure. It means you are human. Failure is not evidence that your dream is impossible. It is evidence that you are attempting something meaningful. The only true failure is abandoning the dream altogether. As long as you try again, you are still moving forward. And do not overlook the importance of celebrating your small wins. Every step matters. Every effort is significant. Too often, people dismiss their progress because it seems small compared to the size of the dream. But mountains are conquered one step at a time. Rivers are crossed one stone at a time. Greatness is constructed one decision and one try at a time. Celebrate your discipline. Celebrate your courage. Celebrate the fact that you refuse to remain where you once were. Gratitude multiplies progress because it reminds your mind that what you are doing is valuable. As you continue to try, you will begin to attract opportunities that align with your decision. Like a magnet, your movement draws new possibilities, new connections, new resources, new doors. Trying activates momentum, and momentum attracts alignment. People will begin to notice your consistency. They will want to support, collaborate, invest, or contribute because effort commands respect. Doors open for those who show they are willing to walk through them. You may not see results immediately, but results are forming behind the scenes. Just as seeds break open beneath the ground long before the plant becomes visible, your efforts are breaking barriers, building character, and aligning opportunities long before you see visible success. Trust the unseen progress. Trust the process that you cannot measure yet. Trust that every try is contributing to something bigger than what you feel right now. And remember, the dream is not testing your ability to achieve it. It is testing your willingness to pursue it. Dreams reveal themselves to the persistent, not the perfect. To the committed, not the curious. To the doers, not the wishers. The dream is asking you one question again and again. Will you try? And every time you answer with action, you draw the dream closer. You must also recognize that your dream will evolve as you evolve. Trying expands your vision. What you thought you wanted may grow into something bigger, clearer, and more meaningful. Allow the dream to mature with you. Do not be afraid if your goals shift or your direction changes. Growth brings clarity, and clarity sometimes brings a new direction. The important thing is that you continue to decide and continue to try. Trying also teaches you discipline, the kind of discipline that shapes your habits, structures your life, and protects your purpose. Discipline is not punishment, it is training. Trying builds the muscle of consistency, and consistency is the cradle of every achievement. The more you try, the easier it becomes to keep trying. Consistency creates automatic momentum. Just as muscles grow through repetition, your capacity grows through repeated attempts. As you press on, there will come a moment when what once felt like effort begins to feel like identity. You will no longer say, I am trying. You will begin to say, this is who I am. And when your dream shifts from something you do to something you are, nothing can stop you. Because identity fuels effort more powerfully than motivation ever could. You are capable of extraordinary things, not because life guarantees it, but because you possess the ability to decide and the courage to try. These two forces, decision and effort, are available to you at every moment. No one can take them from you. No circumstance can block them. No failure can erase them. They are your tools, your weapons, your companions. Use them. Decide boldly. Try consistently. Keep moving, keep believing, keep acting, keep stretching, keep fighting for the dream that whispers within you. Every decision brings you closer. Every attempt strengthens your steps. Every effort shapes your destiny, because the dream you carry is waiting, not for the perfect moment, not for the perfect plan, not for the perfect version of you, but for the decision you will make and the try you will give right now. And as you continue on this path, you will begin to notice that something inside you becomes more alive than ever before. You start to sense a shift, subtle at first, but undeniable with time. That shift is the awakening of purpose. Purpose does not shout, it whispers. It does not force, it invites. It does not push, it pulls. And it pulls you forward every time you decide and every time you try. With each new attempt, your purpose sharpens its voice. With each new effort, it becomes easier to recognize what aligns with you and what does not. Trying reveals what truly belongs to your life. You will also learn that every dream places a demand on the person who carries it. A dream is not simply a vision of what could be. It is a responsibility to become who you must be in order to fulfill it. Trying is the process through which you grow into that version of yourself. It shapes you, stretches you, challenges you, and sometimes confronts you with truths about yourself that you may not want to face. But those truths are necessary. Trying exposes areas that need strengthening and habits that need refining. It reveals attitudes that need adjusting and mindsets that need renewing. You cannot reach new levels with old patterns. Trying transforms the old to make room for the new. And as you grow, something remarkable happens. Your dream begins to feel less like a distant desire and more like a natural destination. Trying builds familiarity. Familiarity builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. And momentum builds inevitability. When you reach that stage, the dream is no longer something you are chasing. It becomes something you are walking into. It becomes a matter of time, not a matter of luck. It becomes a matter of persistence, not a matter of chance. People may look at your progress and assume you have some special gift or secret advantage. They will see the results, but not the repetitions. They will see the strength, but not the struggle. They will see the victory, but not the vulnerability. They will see the dream manifested, but not the countless days you had to convince yourself to keep going. But that is the beauty of the journey. Trying does not always produce visible results immediately, but it always produces internal change. And internal change eventually becomes external evidence. There will be moments when you feel tired, when effort feels heavy, when motivation feels distant, and when obstacles feel relentless. In those moments, remember that rest is not quitting. Rest is renewal. Rest is part of the process. Even the strongest individuals need to pause, to breathe, to reflect, to gather themselves. Trying does not mean exhausting yourself. It means committing to continue. Rest strengthens your capacity to keep trying. Do not confuse fatigue with failure. Do not confuse exhaustion with inability. Sometimes the greatest act of trying is choosing to rest so you can rise again with clarity and strength. Trying also teaches you how to adapt. There will be moments when your plans fall apart, when unexpected challenges disrupt your momentum, when life forces you to reconsider your approach. But adaptation is a form of trying. It shows that you are flexible enough to adjust without giving up. The dream may stay the same, but the path may shift. The vision may remain steady, but the method may evolve. Adaptation is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. Trying in new ways shows you are committed to the outcome, not attached to a single strategy. Along the journey, you will meet people who cannot see what you see. They may doubt your decisions, question your efforts, or misunderstand your passion. Some will criticize because they do not understand. Others will discourage because they do not dare to try for themselves. But remember, your dream was given to you, not to them. Your purpose is your responsibility, not theirs. You cannot expect people to support something they were never meant to carry. Do not let their doubts drown your determination. Do not let their fear diminish your courage. Your dream does not require their approval. It only requires your effort. Trying will also attract the right people. Those who resonate with your mission, those who recognize your determination, those who respect your consistency. Effort is magnetic. It draws like-minded individuals into your life. These people will encourage you, challenge you, uplift you, and walk alongside you. They may not remove the obstacles, but they will remind you that you are capable of overcoming them. They may not solve your problems, but they will help strengthen your perspective. Trying creates a network of support that grows stronger over time. As your efforts accumulate, you may start to see small signs that your dream is unfolding, unexpected opportunities, new insights, increased confidence, meaningful connections, moments of clarity. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Every step you take sends a message to life itself. I am serious about this. And life responds in ways you could not anticipate before you began. Trying activates doors that would have remained closed had you stayed stagnant. You will realize that the dream is not only about achieving something external, it is about who you become internally. Trying teaches patience, humility, resilience, persistence, and faith. These qualities shape your character more powerfully than the achievement itself. Achievements can be taken away, but character remains. And character is what sustains the dream once it manifests. Many people reach success but cannot maintain it because they never develop the character required. Trying ensures that you are not only ready to receive the dream, but ready to sustain it. As you push forward, you will also notice that the things that once discouraged you begin to lose their power. Failure becomes feedback. Delay becomes development. Criticism becomes irrelevant. Doubt becomes a visitor, not a resident. Fear becomes a signal, not a stop sign. This is the transformation that only trying can produce. You stop reacting to challenges emotionally and start responding to them strategically. You begin to understand that every obstacle contains an opportunity, and every setback carries a lesson. There may be times when progress feels invisible, when trying feels repetitive, when nothing seems to be changing on the outside. But great growth often happens in silence. It happens in the unnoticed hours, the private decisions, the quiet persistence. Trying shapes you even when you do not realize it. And one day, the results will appear suddenly, so suddenly that others will call it overnight success. But you will know the truth. You will know the nights of effort, the moments of doubt, the countless tries that built the moment others are now celebrating. You must remind yourself often that trying is a long-term investment. Every effort is a deposit into your future. Every attempt is a brick in the construction of your destiny. Every decision is a contribution to your future self. You may not see the return immediately, but the return is guaranteed if you stay consistent. Try never waste time. It uses time. It transforms time into progress, growth, experience, and wisdom. And as you continue, you will begin to feel gratitude, not only for the results, but for the journey itself. Gratitude for the moments that challenged you because they strengthened you. Gratitude for the attempts that failed because they taught you. Gratitude for the days you doubted yourself because overcoming them made you stronger. Gratitude for the dream that demanded more of you because it forced you to rise higher. At some point, you will look back and realize that the person you became is far greater than the dream you were chasing. The dream gave you direction, but the decisions in the trying gave you transformation. And transformation is the true reward. The dream is simply the doorway through which you discover your potential, your power, your resilience, your identity. Trying is not just what you do, it is who you are becoming. And the more you try, the more aligned you become with the future waiting for you. So keep going, keep deciding, keep trying, keep moving in the direction of life that calls you. Because every dream you desire, every destiny you imagine, every possibility you hope for is shaped and sustained by the courage to decide and the willingness to try. In the end, everything you dream of, everything you hope for, everything you were created to become is waiting on one moment of courage and one step of effort. Your dream is not beyond your reach, it is beyond your hesitation. The power to transform your life does not lie in chance, luck, or circumstance, but in the decisions you make and the attempts you refuse to abandon. Decide boldly, try fearlessly, move intentionally, because the life you desire is not built in a single moment of greatness, but in the consistent courage to rise again and again, no matter what stands before you. Your destiny is calling, and it answers to your decision and your effort. So step forward, choose your future, and try with everything inside you, because greatness always begins the moment you decide not to quit,